Hey everybody, Tracy Brown. I am so delighted that you are here today with me talking about how we can build up momentum to interrupt or end race-based hatred and violence. And that's all a part of the conversation we have every day at the What Is Mine to Do Facebook group, where that's the question we ask ourselves and each other. What is mine to do to interrupt or end race based hatred or violence? It's a big question. And we all know that there are many things that we can do to join groups, to join protests, to um, push forward new legislation, to be a part of community organizing. All of those things and many more are important. But what it's mine to do, we focus on are the individual actions that we can take with the people we come into contact with in the places where we find ourselves, whether that's at work, at school, in our churches, in the community that we live in, at the grocery store or the shopping mall, or wherever we are. What are things that as individuals we don't need to rely on anyone else to actually speak up, speak out, interrupt the pattern that allows for racism to continue and to exist? So if you haven't visited us over at the Facebook group, then please consider going over to Facebook, and all you have to do is search for What Is Mine to Do. Answer a few questions, agree to the group rules, and you're in. And actually, you can see the group even without joining the group, but you won't be able to comment or to post anything if you have not joined the group. So that's what we're about. And every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time, I just want to share with you an idea or an inspiration, a quote that will give you something to think about, a tip, a tool, a technique, a trend. And I do my best to keep momentum to 15 minutes ish, 10 to 15 minutes ish. I think last week we were at 16 and a half minutes, but a couple of weeks ago we were at 5 minutes. So somewhere in that, I try not to go over 15 minutes. So today is the first Monday in June, and that is Pride Month. So I was thinking, we all know there's intersectionality, that none of us is simply one identity group, that we represent many. And I wanted to do something for Pride Month, and I got this idea that rather than me simply talking about the intersectionality or reading some highlights of different people who have made achievements during Pride Month, that at least for this first Monday in June, I would like go online and do a search. And I was looking for like, what's the, is there a hot topic for 2025 related to anti-racism and Pride Month? And of course, when you do an internet search nowadays, then often you can look at an AI generated summary. Now, I did not go to ChatGPT and put in some information for that. I just wondered what Google would come up with as it searched and then reviewed what came up in the search. And I liked what it said. So I decided that's what I would share with you today as part of momentum. And I literally love how the summary began. Pride Month, which commemorates the Stonewall Uprising and the fight for LGBTQ plus rights, is deeply intertwined with the fight for racial justice and anti-racism, period. First sentence. Repeating. Pride Month, which commemorates the Stonewall Uprising and the fight for LGBTQ plus rights, is deeply intertwined with the fight for racial justice and anti-racism. Celebrating Pride means requires, I'm doing a little bit of editing on the fly. Celebrating Pride requires recognizing the history of Black and trans queer people in the movement, understanding the concept of intersectionality, and actively combating racism within and beyond the LGBTQ plus community. In quote, I am loving that this is the foundation, because I've been surprised at how often, even when people refer to Pride Month going back to or being inspired by Stonewall, that they don't know that the leaders at Stonewall were people of color. And that a Black woman, a Black trans woman, Marsha P. Johnson, was right in the middle of so much of it. And there were other trans folks of color who were in the, not just the night of the Stonewall event, but in the weeks and months following, that were in the spotlight, that were beat, that were ostracized, that had to pay a very hefty price physically, financially, and emotionally to lead this demand that people who are queer, people who are LGBTQ plus, people would be respected, that it was time. Okay, going back to the summary, quoting Stonewall Uprising. The Stonewall Uprising, which sparked the modern LGBTQ plus rights movement, was led by Black and trans queer individuals who were targeted by police harassment and discriminatory practices. Their actions demonstrated the interconnectedness of LGBTQ plus rights and the civil rights movement. To truly celebrate Pride and to protect all queer people, it is essential to commit to resisting racism and anti-Blackness. This means actively challenging racist structures and biases within the LGBTQ plus community and the broader society. Examples of intersectionality in action: the Human Rights Campaign, HRC, and other organizations have recognized the importance of anti-racism as a core part of their mission. They've worked to address racist violence and police brutality, and to ensure that LGBTQ plus rights and civil rights are intertwined. Ongoing challenges: LGBTQ plus people, particularly people of color, face disproportionate economic and health disparities due to the intersection of their identities. Addressing these disparities requires a commitment to anti-racism and social justice. Closing paragraph. In essence, celebrating Pride Month without acknowledging and addressing racism is a form of selective allyship. It's crucial to remember that the struggle for LGBTQ plus rights is a fight for racial justice as well, and that the fight for equality is interconnected and requires a commitment to both. I hope you love this as much as I do. And the fact that in this case, Google AI can pull this from scanning, right, 1,000 articles in just a few seconds and pull out, here is the pattern. Here is something to be thinking about. Here is something that is really important about the intersectionality of anti-racism and celebrating Pride Month. I do want to highlight a sentence from one of the places that was scanned, one of the articles, one of the input pieces that was scanned, because I was just really pleased to see it. And it's a statement, an article from an article in the newsletter for the American Bar Association. And it, I think, is important to recognize that legal professionals and the American Bar Association have made a statement about this. And in a newsletter article, they wrote Pride Month, without anti-racist work and a celebration of Black, queer, and trans people is an ahistorical representation of what pride means and who is actually to thank for the modern LGBTQ plus rights movement. So that is what I wanted to just give you something to think about and something to share with others. So often when we are thinking about how we interrupt and end race-based hatred and violence, we think we must wait until there's a problem or there's been a riot or there's been another Black person killed or a Native American who has been denied rights or has been hurt and harmed and ignored. And all of those are times to speak up and be in the conversation. But we also get to initiate proactive and educational conversations as well. And so my challenge to you is that this week, initiate some conversations about the intersectionality of Pride Month and your commitment to interrupt race-based hatred and violence. Reach out to people you know, or if you are at a Pride event, ask the organizers of that event how they are integrating this intersectionality. Look for opportunities to be in the conversation with someone about the foundational movement of contemporary LGBTQ plus rights and how that was really fueled by Black and people of color trans folks, and that this is part of our history, but it's also our responsibility to shift the energy. So don't shy away from the conversation. Actually use it as an opportunity to celebrate the progress that has been made for all. My name is Tracy Brown. I want to encourage you to please hang out with us over at What Is Mine to Do, the public Facebook group, and to do what you can do in the communities where you are, engaging with the people you come into contact with to interrupt or end race-based hatred and violence. I'll see you over in the Facebook group. Bye for now.